Thank you so much for joining me today. Small group today. Well, this is a continuation of our two-part Salamander Live Wizard series. So last month we covered our visitor management wizard. This month we shift our focus to the quick check-in wizard. So here is the outline for what's going to be covered today. We're going to first look at what the quick check-in wizard is, how to get access to the tool, and then how it works. During the training, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask at any time by unmuting yourself, or you can use the chat function. Also, today's training, normally we go for an hour, but just know that today's training is going to not take the full hour. It's going to probably be about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the number of questions we have. So let's first take a look at what is the Quick Check-in Wizard. So the Quick Check-in Wizard is a free tool available to all customers subscribed to Salamander Live. It is intended to be used like a kiosk to kind of automate your check-in process during an event. So there are some setup pieces, but once that's all set up, it does allow your people to check themselves into an event. So how do you get access to this tool? So unlike the visitor management wizard, the quick check-in wizard is not going to appear in the wizard dropdown in Salamander Live. So when you log into Salamander Live, you'll see third option is the wizard. The visitor management wizard, it actually lists there even if you don't have access to it, but the quick check-in does not. So you will need to have your Salamander Live account administrator send a request to support@salamanderlive.com or call in. Once we add the quick check-in to the account administrator, from there they can assign it to other users at their discretion. So that's just the main difference between the two wizards is one is going to be available by default, but though you still have to get access to that, the quick check-in will not appear in the dropdown. Either way, both does require the account administrator to get assigned to it first. Another thing to note about the quick check-in wizard is that you do have to have other roles assigned in order to use the wizard. So you can't just assign a user the quick check-in and they'll be able to utilize the quick check-in wizard. They have to have either the resource data entry role as well as the incident management roles because they'll need to have access to people, to your people database, and they'll also need to have access to events. So that's very important. The reason for that is that when they open up the quick check-in wizard, the quick check-in wizard is going to um, uh, for those that are the people that are actually checking themselves in, they'll be able to look themselves up through the database and then of course assign themselves to an event. That's the reason why you need to have those additional access points in order to use this check-in wizard the way it was built. So how does it work? So once administrator sets up the check-in defaults, so in here, when you pull up the quick check-in wizard, there is going to be a settings button. When you click on that, you'll need to go in there and you need to set up the whether or not you want that person checked into an event. If so, you need to select which event you want to check them into and what assignment within that event you want them checked into. So this is going to be the default for everybody that checks into the quick check-in wizard. Okay. And you also have the option of whether or not you want to enable printing. Again, if these individuals already have a Salamander credential, you do not need to print them another card. They could just check themselves in, click save, verify their birthday, and they're ready to go. So there's a process for this where they type in their name, find themselves in the system, which is going to populate through the wizard, validate themselves by entering in their birth date. Once that's done and it's validated, you'll see it says verified and they can click finish and the next person can basically check themselves in. Okay, so this is the default that you'd have to check in. Now, the default in this case is the default, as long as this check-in wizard is open. The moment you close this wizard, this does reset the check-in settings screen. Okay, so it'll start fresh again where you can now select the next batch if you wanted them checked into a different meeting or a different event. You have that option to do so. Okay, so I'm going to pull up Salamander Live so we can walk through that process. So for this process, for the quick check-in wizard, only you've got that one person that would be logged in. So in this case, again, we're looking at setting this up like a reception area where you might have Rapid Tag there as well as Track App. Okay. So in this case, what you're doing is you're just having that person who has access to the quick check-in wizard. They're going to log in to Salamander Live. Okay. And they're going to set this up on their login. So that's the only thing with this is that when you set this up, if I go to wizard and I click on quick check-in, everything is going to be grayed out on the back end. You see this? So yes, they will be able to see some data in here. And if they close out of this, they will be able to get access to your information. So you always need to have someone man this, computer so that no one actually exits out of this quick check-in wizard. If they do, then you need to reset everything up. So that's the most important thing. And this is the difference with this check-in wizard versus maybe Rapid Tag evac where you can scan in an ID. Okay. So first things first is you need to click on the gears icon, the settings icon, and you as the administrator will need to go in and set this up. So I'm going to click on check into event, and then you can pull down the event, and then you can select the event that you want to check these individuals in. So this one, I'm going to select the regional meeting. So this is a meeting that everybody is coming into. They can check themselves in. I'm going to select regional meeting. And then I'm going to select the assignment. So what is the assignment you want them checked into? So I'm going to click on checked in. And then I'm not going to enable print, but if you want to enable print, you can. I'm going to show you what happens when you enable print just for training purposes. Okay. And then you can click save. In this case, the person, now the quick check-in wizard is ready to go. So here's your self-check-in kiosk, if you want to call it that. So the first person comes in, they go in there and they can search for their name. So I'm going to search his last name by last name. You can search by first name or by last name. So here he is, Cameron Beard. I'm going to select, so that's that's me. So I'm going to say, okay, this is me, Cameron Beard. This is my ID number. This is who I'm with, is Moosewood Police Department. I click on it. I click on my record. And then you're going to see this enter birth date populate. So in there, I'm going to go in and type in my birth date. Okay. Once I type in my birth date, I verify birth date. Click on that and it should say verified and then click finish, which is going to check me in to this event. Okay. So I click finish and new and it resets the kiosk again for the next person. If you selected the enable to print, you're going to see the sending to printer, please wait. So this is also the reason why you want someone to man this, is that if you do enable for printing, the print settings window is going to populate on here. So in this case, you'll need to go in there, select your printer from the drop down. Again, this is all set up so that it should already be set up to your printer. In this case, I'm printing the PDF, but the design is going to be the most important thing. The reason why is because the design itself, it's going to pull up all of our regular designs in here, so all of your art cards. So this person is from Moosewood Police Department, they're law enforcement, so I'm going to select this design. So in this case, you'd have to have whoever's manning this computer make sure that the correct design is being printed. And then, selecting when this card is being issued, if there's an expiration date in this case, okay? And then click print. Okay. And then that's going to print, it's going to print out to your printer. Mine is printing to PDF, so I'm going to save mine real quick on here. And then the person's going to have their ID. That's printed. So this is the one I chose. No picture or anything in here because, again, real basic ID that was printed. Okay. And there's the QR code that can then be scanned into the event if need be. So again, a lot of questions from the last time we did this was, is this a replacement for Rapid Tag, our volunteer type solution where you can scan in a driver's license and or manually enter people in? Not necessarily. I mean, not every customer has Rapid Tag. So if you don't have the Rapid Tag solution, this could be a tool that you could use to quickly check in your people for an event. Um, that's also the case for if you didn't have the Track app. This could be a quick tool to check people into an event. Okay, so it's really made for that purpose, is if you don't have those other applications, you could use this as a backup to quickly get people checked into your event. Okay, because even if you don't have those other tools, Rapid Tag, the Track app, you still have access to the event side. And again, you really can't use the event side unless you have an event started and a way to check those individuals in. And so in this case, you go to the events, create your event, and then you can use the wizard to check those individuals in. So again, it's a free tool that's available for you. You don't have to use it, but it's there if you wanted to have another way to check individuals in. Okay. Any questions so far on the process and how this could be used? Now, one important thing in here that I kind of glanced over was the birth date. Okay, so the birth date obviously is a verification piece with a quick check-in. So the individuals that are within your system that you're looking at using this kiosk, they have to have a birthday recorded within their record, their Salamander Live record. If there is no birth date there, they're going to have issues checking in with this. So for example, I'm going to do another individual. This is what would happen if you checked someone in without a birth date. So a recorded. So this is this person's birth date. If I click verify birth date, you're going to get invalid birth date on here. Okay, so that's what's going to populate on here, invalid birth date. So in this case, what you'd have to do for this individual, if they don't have their birth date in there, is that you'd have to go into their record, Terry Butler's record, enter their birth date, and then they would be able to use this quick check-in wizard. So that's things that, you know, if you're going to look at using this tool, this wizard, you'd have to make sure that everybody within your database, you're entering birth dates for. You're capturing that information when you're creating their records. So that's the um, main, I'd say, component of this quick check-in wizard, making sure that people exist in the system and make sure that they have a birthday captured. Okay. Everything here going out is exactly the same. So anytime that you check someone into an event, if you can see them checked in through the Track app. So if you have the Track app and you're using that application with this check-in wizard, you'll see them checked into the assignment that you selected within the settings option. You'll also see them on the events dashboard, as well as any other solutions that you got connected. So if you had Rapid Tag and you had Command, you'll see all that, all those individuals checked in here in those solutions as well. Okay. Now I talked earlier about if you close out of this wizard. Okay, so this is the only way that they could close out of this wizard is they go in here, right? So if they actually click on here and they click close wizard, it's going to close the entire wizard, and then you'd have to redo this whole check-in process. Okay, so if I close wizard, it closes it out. In this case, if they closed out, they can let you know, inform you, or you can see that from there. All you do is go back, click the quick check-in wizard, and then you have to reset your settings. You see that your settings that you had earlier, they disappear. The reason for that is because it's a wizard. Once you close out the wizard, it allows you to go back in and reset new defaults if need be. Okay, so process for this is don't have the wizard closed at all. Leave the wizard running throughout your entire check-in process. Okay, and of course you always want to have a person man this computer that has this the check-in wizard um, wherever it's being used. Okay. Any questions on this? Any questions? All right. I'm going to close the wizard here, and I'm just going to take you into the event side so you can see these individuals checked in. Okay, I'm going to go into the regional meeting is where I had them checked in. This regional meeting was started through the track app. And then you'll see them checked in right there. Cameron Beard, checked in. So today's date. And you had another individual checked in as well too from earlier date. Okay. And then you'll see them within the chart as well. So these other items, so other than the chart, if you want to have access to the roster tile, resource timer, and these additional functions with the chart, just know that you have to have the Events Pro feature. You have to subscribe to that additional feature, and or you have to have the plans feature in order to see those additional tiles. So right now, if you don't see those tiles, it's because your account is not subscribed to Events Pro or plans. Okay, but you still have access to the basic chart, so you'll be able to see who's checked in so far. Okay. So a very handy tool to use for real basic events like meetings where it's just your internal group. Um, but a great tool to have if you don't have any other options for check-in. Okay. As I mentioned before, I'll show you right here real quick. So on the events side, so let's say you didn't have Rabbit Tag and or the track app. This is where you can start the event right here. You click the plus button, create the event, name it whatever you want to. Let's if it's a monthly meeting that you're looking at tracking these people for. Okay. The date started and then click save. Okay. Just know that when you start it through Salamander Live, you don't get the check-in option. You get what's called on scene. So those are the two options you get, off scene, on scene. Okay. So the on scene basically is they've been checked in. Okay. From there, you go into the wizard, quick check-in. And now when you go to the settings, you should see your new event in there, monthly meeting, and then your assignment on scene. You see that? And then everybody, in this case, they already have their ID because they're in the database, or you're like, you don't need to print anything, just simply click save. And that's when you can go in and check them in again. So if I check in Beard, here I am, verify my birthday again, validate, and then that's it. So this case is not printing one, so you just get the verified, click finish, and then click finish and new, and then now the next person. Okay. Questions on this process and questions on how to use this tool. Again, it's not meant to replace Rapid Tag and the Track app for check-in. It's there as a supplement and used there if you don't have those other two solutions for tracking and you just simply have a Salamander Live subscription and you want to have some sort of tracking, this is your next best option is this quick check-in wizard. Any questions? Any questions? All right. Well, this is a nice and short, sweet, simple training. As always, if you have any questions afterwards, please feel free to reach out to me. Here's my contact information. You can reach me by our 877 number. So this is our 24/7 support line. Or you can also email me direct at training@salamanderlive.com. I will make sure to have this training available and posted within Salamander University. Probably won't be for a couple weeks, which is our next when our next release will be out. So if you need this training ahead of time, please let me know. I can send you the YouTube link. Other than that, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's training and that you come back next month. Next month, we are going to be covering how to add in and manage custom fields in Salamander Live. So that's more of a administrator piece. So hopefully you come back for next month for October's training. And then November, we're going to focus on the plans feature. So again, hopefully you come back and join us for that. Those dates and times will be posted within our bulletin that's sent out on the third Thursday of every single month. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Oh, Kara, thank you. Thank you for being on the call. Let us know if you have questions. Take care, everyone.